Later, I got to know that this child was gang raped, and they, you know, came for support, and my father was fighting for their justice. My dad is a social worker. He would fight for people's rights. He was also labor union president at several companies back then. About, I think I was around 15 years old when I saw this little girl along with her parents. They came to our house to seek for my dad's help. And at that age, obviously, I did not get what was going on, but then they kept visiting us multiple times over the next couple of years. And later, I got to know that this child was gang raped, and they, came for support, and my father was fighting for their justice. So that kind of lit a spark in me. I think when he started this orphanage along with his friends, I just knew I had to be a part of it.
It was the heart, the calling was from there.
Definitely.
What about the other foundation that you support?
Pratyusha Support. It is founded by actress Samantha and co-founded by Padma Shri awardee Dr. Manjula Anangani. And I happen to be part of this trust also from its inception in 2014. We contribute financially towards underprivileged children and women to support their medical treatments. So most of the kids are preterm babies or children who are born with, a hole in their heart, or women with, disabilities. So various such cases.
We often talk about kindness, about giving back, but somewhere between the social media posts and gala dinners, it's become more of content than compassion. Yet, they are people quietly showing up, not because they want an applaud, but because their heart breaks by not doing it. Today, my guest is an entrepreneur who plays multiple roles, a philanthropist, and while she's doing all this, she's a mother too. I welcome Seshanka Banesh on my podcast, All That She Wants.
Thank you, Joey, for having me and for such a lovely introduction.
Thank you. It's lovely to have you and your warmth with us today.
Thank you.
So tell me, what's one powerful aha moment when you said it to yourself that, yes, this is what I do it because I do it?
There are many such instances. I could probably, think of a few now. There is another girl who came to our orphanage when she was about 3 years old. She literally doesn't have anybody biologically, and she thinks that I'm her only family even today. Every time I visit her, her eyes sparkle, and she has a big smile on her face. She comes running and she comes and gives me a tight hug, and I feel amazing, every such moment. And at Happy Homes, there was another boy who grew up with us, little boy, and he was placed through Happy Homes at Tata Aerospace SEZ, and for about 4 years he worked there, and he later applied for several jobs. He found a job in Singapore. He's now settled there. He shares cool stories on Instagram, and it just fills me with so much happiness. So yeah, there are many such moments, I think.
Beautiful moments. It's
Yeah.
worth doing what you're doing.
Yes, totally.
Let's talk about your story, where, how this happened to you.
I think philanthropy comes from my heart. Entrepreneurship, of course, my mind, and motherhood is my soul. But on a serious note, for my living, um, I am a digital marketer myself. I run a digital marketing company called VHonk, based out of Hyderabad. And my love for handlooms, we started this sustainable clothing brand called Studio Buzzle. It's also based out of Hyderabad. Apart from this, philanthropy happened to me the earliest at when I was about 20 years old. And entrepreneurship, yes, I always wanted to do something on my own. Um, and motherhood was a recent addition, and I think it's the most challenging one.
Definitely. How do you balance this?
It's all about the support system that you have. It's the people around you that make you do things. I think I'm blessed with an amazing family, friends, and most importantly, my partner, my husband. When you have such people with you, anything is possible.
Exactly, very true. There might be a whole family, but I think the support system is your husband.
Definitely, definitely.
Yes.
He's always my backbone. He's always there behind the scenes.
Brilliant. So, tell me about the NGOs that you support. I believe there are two NGOs that you are majorly a part of. Can you talk about both?
Firstly, Happy Homes. It's originally called Pyaram Vijay Bharati Vidyasagar Charitable Trust. It's named after our founder and his wife. And they are my dad's friends, and they happened to start the orphanage in 2007. Ever since, I've been a integral part of its evolution. The next year for my birthday, I raised some funds. My friends were, they just went for their masters abroad, most of them, and they were working on some part-time jobs, making some pocket money. And when I rolled out this email to all of them, they immediately responded back and contributed some funds. And on that birthday, I remember me and my grandfather, we went to the orphanage with a full truck of load, with water tanker, water purifier, these big kitchenware, and bunk beds, mattresses. So I think from then on, I'd been contributing, raising funds for my birthday. And apart from that, I bridge a gap between my father and his generation and the children.
So, was it majorly your family's influence that involved you in this, or it was just on your own?
Definitely. I think I grew up in a very different environment. My dad is a social worker. He would fight for people's rights. He was also labor union president at several companies back then. About, I think I was around 15 years old when I saw this little girl along with her parents. They came to our house to seek for my dad's help. And at that age, obviously, I did not get what was going on. But then they kept visiting us multiple times over the next couple of years. And later, I got to know that this child was gang raped. And they, you know, came for support, and my father was fighting for their justice. So that kind of lit a spark in me, I think. When he started this orphanage along with his friends, I just knew I had to be a part of it.
Mhm. It was the heart. The calling was from there.
Definitely.
What about the other foundation that you support?
Pratyusha Support. It is founded by actress Samantha and co-founded by Padma Shri awardee Dr. Manjula Anangani. And I happen to be part of this trust also from its inception in 2014. We contribute financially towards underprivileged children and women, um, to support their medical treatments. So most of the kids are preterm babies or children who are born with, a hole in their heart, or women with, disabilities. So various such cases.
Okay. Now that you are also a trustee of your NGO that was founded by your father and friends, what changed when you stepped in? Understanding this is from years, the legacy is going on. How did you make a difference?
All of us, actually, we all contributed in whatever way we could be through our network, could be, going asking the corporates to, contribute, or place our kids in their companies once they step out of the orphanage. So different things. From one hall to now, we are at four big halls, and there is also a really nice cafeteria. Pratyusha Support also organizes a lot of activities for NGOs, bringing them together onto one platform. So such things. Happy Homes is always part of these events.
We were also discussing that intentionally you had kept Happy homes limited to 20 to 25 kids. Why such a small number? What difference and quality of life are you giving to the kids?
I think when you're in social work, it's a myth that people think NGOs are, large, huge operations. I don't think that's true. When you're in social work, whether your operations are huge or small, what matters is the intent, the impact you're creating, the intensity, and of course, consistency. So, happy homes, our space comfortably accommodates about 25 to 30 children. And we have kept it that way also because kids come here, with lack of care elsewhere, and they deserve 100% attention and focus. So, we always tried giving that to every child. So, yeah, having said this, hundreds of kids have been supported by Happy Homes so far over the years, and they're all living independently. So that's the sole purpose of any orphanage.
Do they actually feel like sibling to each other?
They do, definitely. A lot of these kids who have left the orphanage, now working independently, they all come back, meet the kids. They have a bonding already here. They feel this is their second home. They also contribute back to the orphanage.
So how do you create that?
Like I said, when you give 100% attention to each child, kids open up
Mhm.
very well, and they have the freedom to do what they want to there, right? So with that freedom, I think they also are able to bond really well. They generally do not complain at happy homes. They always resolve issues amongst themselves. They compete with other schools. They always want to win competitions, sports. Our boys are very, very good in sports. And right now their demand is we need jerseys. So we're working on that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think they all develop that bond naturally when
Okay.
yeah, when the facilities are comfortable and good,
Mm-hmm.
it's taken care of.
So you would have probably seen darker sides where cases are handled by NGOs and orphanages that failed kids. So do you have anything to talk about this?
Darker side, you mean people could be corrupt? Was that the question?
Yes, it could be corruption or people misbehaving with the kids inside. Could be anything.
You are always in social activity only when you have the good intent. You come with a good heart. But like in every other system, there could be a few who may be corrupt or who may want to take advantage of different things here. So, if the founding team or the trustee is taking care of things closely, you live in the US, you have an orphanage here, and somebody is taking care of it, obviously things can go wrong. But if you're, here taking care of things, looking at everything very closely, I think you can always try and control.
Mhm.
Also, there could be many other reasons why an NGO may fail. It could be due to lack of resources. It could be due to lack of financial support, and it could also be, maybe you're overdoing your capacity beyond your capacity.
Mhm.
So yeah, it could be many reasons. So earlier there were such cases definitely. Right now we have CWC, Child Welfare Committee, whose responsibility is to make sure that things are going right for every child. You can't make them work. You can't make them do anything that they're not supposed to. If your facility is fit for taking care of certain number of children, health wise, food wise, quality, in every way, CWC is making sure things are going right. And they also do these surprise visits, surprise checks, and I think that's a great initiative by the government.
Okay. There's something that I really wanted to understand. I've always been inquisitive about this. We see that in India, the signals are filled with people begging. Doesn't government play a role here, or for that matter, CWC, to get kids under their supervision?
See, most of the kids, abandoned kids, can be taken to CWC. The police can, regular citizens can, or even if the parent thinks that he or she cannot really handle, take care of their own child, they can always go report to CWC, and this committee will make sure the child is put in a safe shelter home and the child gets what they deserve.
Mhm.
So that can happen even today. But unfortunately, you don't know who this child is in most cases,
Mhm.
right? So it becomes very difficult to actually identify the child who needs the support.
How do they handle bullying at NGOs?
Bullying definitely happens in the initial stages when children from a different environment, they all of a sudden are put in a different you know group of children and a new environment altogether. It can happen. We make sure that there are no differences, no discrimination. They're kids from different religion, different caste, upper, lower, and the teams make sure that these do not really happen.
Mhm.
And every activity is more of a group activity. And at Happy Homes, we make sure that the groups are always, you take turns, you exchange the kids, make sure everybody is mingling with every other child there. So these practices are very important. It takes a lot of your energy and effort, but it is very important, and it finally shapes the child's personality.
So there is a common perception that charity either is a show off or it could be depressing. What's your honest take about this?
Charity can be a show off to a few, but charity, I think, is divine to many, and depressing, not at all. I think charity only frees you from depression, it only heals you for better.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you have to tell to people who think that charity is for rich people just to write off their tax?
See, I think if you want to contribute, make a difference, you can do it from nothing. You don't need to always have a backup or a, influential power to be involved in such activities. I think your heart should be at the right place to be able to do that. And it's not always about financial, contributions. It's also your time.
Mhm.
You can probably volunteer with smaller groups, local NGOs, or a local social worker, if you're really interested in making a difference, right?
Mhm.
So I think this is a myth. People think that charity is only for the privileged. I don't think I am privileged. I come from a backward community myself, and my father has always been in this space all his entire life. And I think I'm just following his path while parallelly I'm also balancing my professional career.
Mhm.
So you can do both. My favorite quote, I think I live by it. It's by B.R. Ambedkar, which says, life has to be great, rather not long. I totally believe this and I live by it every day. It gives you immense satisfaction and pleasure. Like we all know, giving is only receiving.
Mhm.
So it's very important to have a peaceful, I think, life, and make sure all your emotions are balanced. This emotion, compassion, empathy, completes a human.
True, definitely. While you spoke this, it reminded me of Rajesh Khanna. His quote, "Zindagi lambi nahi, badi honi chahiye
Yes,
goals."
absolutely.
True. Financially running NGOs needs a lot of money, lot of finance. So, were you always backed up, or you just had to begin it from the ground level?
We figured it out on the go. We had to raise funds as per the requirement. Even today, we do that. Definitely, there's more visibility. There are more, a couple of corporate companies who come in and contribute whenever there is a need. With Pratyusha Support, of course, Samantha and Dr. Manjula Anangani are the powerhouses.
Mm-hmm.
They're always, out there stepping in whenever there is a need. And we also have loyal donors ever since our inception till date. We have really good group of donors who keep
Okay.
contributing back to Pratyusha.
So now, if I have to ask you, happy homes at one side, Pratyusha support at one side, one which is backed completely by a celebrity, one which is run by family. So, what is one major difference that you see in this?
First of all, they are both completely different causes.
Mm-hmm.
One is obviously a shelter home. We focus on uh, kids' overall development, providing them with education, good food, good health, and overall personality development. And on the other side, this is medical. It's very critical. It requires, you know, really huge financial support system, right? So there are two different causes. There are many cases which are very expensive. The treatment cost is really high. It's not easy with Pratyusha as well, is what I will say. But because we have, you know, the kind of strength, I think we are able to do things. Most of the cases, Samantha herself, contributes from her own pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, we don't talk about it, right? So, yeah.
Okay. So, was there ever a time at Happy Homes where you had to say no to a child because of funding?
Not because of funding. Basically, in orphanages, we have abandoned kids, we have single parented kids, and we have complete orphans also. And sometimes the single parent, would want to take back the child, and maybe they are now confident that they can, handle the expenses or handle the well being of the child themselves. And that's when, kids also can go back, right?
Okay.
So it all depends on the child and their decision.
Okay. Even though the child is not legally completed the age?
Yeah, that's if they already have a parent, then definitely yes. They have the right to, decide.
Okay. And at Pratyosha, was there any case where you felt bad about it couldn't be processed because of a reason?
Yes, our very first case was a liver transplant. Little baby who was just about a few months old. And we were very, very, motivated and pumped to take this case up. And we raised, I think, about 15 lakh rupees for this child's treatment. We believed that the outcome would be great, but eventually we lost this child. And it was our very first case also. And it was very, very upsetting. And, we were all devastated. You learn with your experiences. So we also happen to introduce different policies thereafter. Right now, we take up cases only with positive outcome. Our medical board, which is headed by Dr. Manjula Anangani, she decides if we should, take up a certain case or not. So now I think things are looking great.
Okay, but what about the people who could still have had a chance and you didn't wanted to give it a try?
We also need to be very wise about using the fund that we raise from public. It's public fund, right? And I think it's important that when when the doctors believe, when the medical board believes that, there may not be great outcome. Like, say, for example, this child or woman suffering from cancer, fourth stage, and you know for sure that she's not going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot, as an NGO, put enough funds there, right? But sometimes you got to be really strong that way. It's the most difficult thing that I get to do, saying no, but there's no other way, to it.
Okay. Was there ever a moment that a child came up to you and called you mom? And what did you do about it?
Um, I mentioned about this little girl who came to us at 3, and she literally grew up with us. She thinks of me, I think, as her only family. She never called me, with this title mom, or she never, you know, but then she definitely thinks I'm her world. And I feel great, right now she is at another orphanage, a girls' orphanage, and I keep visiting her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see how things go. Really, it's a huge responsibility, and I'm looking forward to, seeing how she's gonna evolve into a beautiful, strong
Mm-hmm.
woman.
Great. Let's talk about hygiene. How is that taken care differently from raising boys and girls at NGOs?
Hygiene is necessary for both girls and boys. There's no difference as such, You need to have very high quality facility, good toilets. For girls, through Pratyusha, we also create a lot of awareness campaigns on menstruation. We also tie up with different NGOs who are working towards, girl health awareness. There's this NGO I would like to mention, Valmiki Foundation. So they contribute sanitary napkins, biodegradable sanitary napkins every year, and we at Pratyusha collaborate with them annually to provide these children with their sanitary needs.
Okay. Do you think compassion should be visible to inspire others, or it should be private to keep it pure?
I think it's pure either ways,
Mm-hmm.
but it depends on the individual. You private is great, or also trying to inspire many more to join. Even if one person is um, inspired by you and also contributing in their own way silently, that's a win. So I think both are great.
But today we also see that somebody who's doing too much of charity, the label, the tagline automatically comes in, ये तो सिर्फ शो ऑफ के लिए कर रहा है. So how do you play around in such areas, because you are a part of a foundation, again mentioning this, Pratyusha Support? I'm sure such labels also come to your foundation. How do you guys manage that?
We don't take such comments seriously, first of all. It doesn't even come to our notice, because when it doesn't affect you, you don't even notice such things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we ever came across any such comments.
Mm-hmm.
It only talks about the other person who's making these comments, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
not about you. You do you.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing great work, yeah. Come on, we're making a difference in such huge number of lives. And we're definitely grateful for the opportunity, firstly.
I'm sure. Were you ever accused of either hiding of the work that you're doing or flaunting it?
Me personally,
Yes.
I think I'm too small for any such attacks.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, not really. People around me only encourage me, motivate me to do more, also try and support me in whatever way they can.
Because this is run by Samantha, do you have to get an approval on every surgery or every medical need from her?
It's teamwork. We are 3 women in the team, and It's a very simple and easy conversation that we maintain, and we make sure we're all in loop. Sam wants to know everything about what's going on, and that's a beautiful quality, having such a busy life. It's not easy for somebody to always focus on what's happening. Dr. Manjula, of course, because she's the one who needs to take a call on which case to support. Um, so we are always in conversations. And Sam always, wants to know about every case because it just gives her that kind of satisfaction in life, and she needs to know. And we are, a team together, and we have a group together, and we
Mhm.
discuss everything at one place. And yeah,
Okay.
so it's been like this since day one. And even in her toughest times, she's always available for Pratyusha. And yeah,
What's one learning that you have got from Pratyusha or the members of Pratyusha?
I think I have evolved a lot, being with such amazing women, both of them. There was once when I texted Sam that I think I made a mistake and I feel guilty. And then she's like, which means you're just about to learn your next big lesson, Seshi. Hold on.
Wow.
You know, these little things, these little pieces of, advices or strength that I get from the both of them. It's amazing. Dr. Manjula is childlike. She's a
Mhm.
Padma Shri awardee. Everybody would have this really serious image of hers. But when you meet her, she's like your any aunt, sister, mom, she's just like family. And it comes with great humility that you are who you are today, right?
Brilliant.
So I think I'm very blessed to be a part of this organization, to be working alongside such amazing women.
Brilliant. How do you recover from a tiring dead day that you are coming back from an NGO where it wasn't a good day?
Honestly, every time I go to an NGO, whether good or bad, I feel very happy and accomplished, even if it has been exhausting. Mentally, I'm very happy कि I could give my entire day, to this cause. I could spend time with these little children. It made a difference to them. So why not? I'm generally very relieved after. It's more like therapy for me.
What do you suggest to people who want to start an NGO and not sure where and how to start? What do you recommend?
I would suggest start small. First of all, try and understand what your purpose is. What is that one cause that you connect with? Could be elderly citizens, could be girl child, could be women empowerment, could be animal welfare, could be environment, could be anything, right? Try and understand what your purpose is, what aligns with your interest, and then start small. Volunteer with smaller organizations
Mhm.
or work alongside a social worker. Try and get the whole, feel the whole vibe of this. And if you really think you are meant to do this, maybe, you
Mhm.
can move a little further ahead. You will figure out on your own. You don't necessarily have to start an NGO by yourself always. You can always make a difference by probably spending some time at other organizations.
Mhm. So the purpose is important, or the need of an hour at that NGO is important. Like you start it with the purpose that I want to
Right,
start it, or there is something that is lacking in the society. Like you mentioned, it could be animal welfare, could be girl child.
right. I
What
think it could
is
be both ways. Maybe you see there is a void in a certain space and you want to fill that. Definitely, you can start your own, social welfare activity around it by creating awareness, by inviting more people to join hands, or, you believe that have this sole purpose of your life and you want to start an NGO, I think you have to figure it out. It's not like an overnight thingy that you can just do it,
Mm-hmm.
because I think consistency and intention both matter a lot in this space. You just can't feel like today, oh, you're overwhelmed by a certain activity and you want to be a part of it for life. But then after a month, you don't feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a process. You need to sink it all in, also while balancing the rest of your life. So it's not really an easy job. Uh, but again, it's not very difficult if your heart is in the right place and you know your purpose. I want to tell everybody that charity is not boring. I think it's cool. It's the new cool. And I definitely want to suggest parents, especially, and schools, institutions, educational institutions, to also involve their students, children in such activities. In today's times, it really, scares me that kids are very competitive, but in a very wrong sense. They're all about materialistic things, comparing what they have to what the others have, and it's going to lead, I think, to a very disturbed society in the future. Kids need to be grounded, and they need to learn this very early in their lives. So it's important that schools also initiate such activities, maybe organize some culture exchange programs with NGOs and kids there. Even these kids, feel very discriminated, or they feel that there is a layer, you know, between them and the other privileged kids. You need to break that for the benefit of both, because these NGO kids actually feel like, I'll just give an example. When somebody goes to an NGO, to an orphanage to celebrate their own birthday or their child's birthday, the other kids are reminded of what they don't have more than celebrating this family's,
Mm-hmm.
special event. But if you go and celebrate the child's birthday who's actually living in that orphanage,
Mm-hmm.
it would make them feel so special. I want to break that. I really want to suggest people ki, go also celebrate them, not just, it's amazing that you find this place so pure and beautiful that you want to celebrate your events, but also remember their special days and please come and spend time with
Mm-hmm.
them. I think it'll break a lot of that inferiority complex that the
Mm-hmm.
kids at orphanages
Have.
grow up with. Because I really want these schools and all to take such initiatives. Yeah, there is Scouts and Guides, there is, NCC, but they all do it for themselves.
Mm.
Why not also invite NGO kids, or you take your kids there, na?
Mm.
You just break that,
Yes.
I think,
Mm-hmm.
that barrier.
Mm.
They are two different worlds, and people really, these kids have no idea about that world. Those
Mm-hmm.
kids have no idea about this world.
Mm.
Why not show them all
What
of
the
it,
real.
all sides, and make them part of, all of
Mm.
these? And that's when I think in the future you build a better society.
Mm.
People are more grounded, you know. It's
Mm-hmm.
very important.
Thank you so much, Shashanka. You have been very kind and warm. I especially like the message that you passed on, nurturing from the school. I think if that message is passed really well, we'll have better future, and let's work towards it.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me, Joey. I was instantly connected with you somehow, when we had our first conversation, and you're doing an amazing job yourself.
Thank you so much. People like you make it even more better and special.
Thank you.
Thanks.